Welcome aboard, all you wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the Traveling Groomers Podcast, where we discuss lessons learned from mobile and house call grooming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bear Anthony. Any moment now, we'll be joined by my co-host and friend, retired mobile groomer and educator extraordinaire, Mary Aquendo, and very likely a special guest to help us chat about all things grooming, grooming industry related, and just plain fun digressions that I will totally wrangle back to topic. Grab those travel mugs and climb aboard to see where today's topic will bring us. Let's roll.
Hey there, Chris.
Hey there, Mary. Welcome back from Hershey, and welcome to episode number 227, recorded on September 13th, that will be airing on September 20th. And for those of you wondering where episode number 225 went, it went. It is gone. It is in the ether. It existed for a brief moment in time. So we are holding its place and just saying that it was there.
In memory.
In memory of 225. So apparently there were some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I mean, it recorded, the video is there, but there's like no sound. Don't ask me what happened to the sound.
See, that's what happens when I'm not there. Clearly.
Well, then, you should have been there.
Well, there were reasons. Friday was insanely busy. There were 3 people deep at the booth.
All right. So we are recording this and we're both like just home from Hershey Groom Expo.
Yup.
I think we're still recovering.
Honestly, yes. I planned to do some things today. I planned to groom my dog. And then I went, well, if I have one client coming over tomorrow morning, I'll just groom him after her. I'll already be in the mood. I'll be in my smock. I'll be, today, video games.
Yeah. I'm heading out on Saturday. And I'm going to be gone from home for 5 days for a 3-day pet tech instructor training, which means I still got to fly through my stuff on my list. And I'm just not feeling it, Chris.
You're not, you're low on spoons, Mary. Are you?
I am very low on spoons, and I believe I have an ear infection coming on.
I'm sorry to hear. Well, I did see at least one person say they brought COVID back from Hershey. So at least it's not COVID.
There's always pros and cons. Yes, I would still rather not have a ear infection.
Well, yes. But you'd really rather not have COVID.
I would really not want to have either and come home nice and healthy.
Oh, yes. But that was not an option, apparently.
So, anyway.
Every time I adjust this mic, I go, is this the time it's going to like fall in my lap on air? Not today. So let's let's not introduce our topic. See, Mary, I'm going off my deviated list because I'm swapping it, and I think we should do the Hershey recap.
Okay, since we already started talking about it. I will say this. I thought Hershey was absolutely amazing this year.
And look, we got our Barkley honors. I'm starting to feel a little Susan Lucci-esque.
Okay.
But I will congratulate handling it. They're a newer podcast. I believe they only have 10 or so episodes, but they clearly have a devoted following.
So is this where we like slap the hands of our listeners?
No.
Okay.
It is not. This is where we vow to do a better job next year. Because we're going to talk about it And we're going to make sure not only that our listeners are happy and that we're nomination worthy and that they're still listening, but that we remind them to vote and to tell their friends to vote. We're going to go on Facebook about it, and we're going to have an Instagram presence by then, because my Facebook issues will either be resolved or everything will be transferred over. So I'll have access to things. We'll take ownership of this.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Because I always have to put a positive spin on it.
Yeah.
Eventually, anyway.
So, like I said, the show was amazing. The attendance was through the roof.
Oh my God, it really was.
So we were talking to a couple of people about why attendance was, I mean, literally, it was through the roof.
I want to say over 6,000 people.
Yeah. On Friday, you could barely get through the aisles where the vendors were.
Yeah, we didn't have time to breathe or blink.
So,
but that was kind of awesome, though. Awesome.
Yeah, you know what? So someone had said that it's now like 2 full years out of COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not, I don't think it's just, oh, we can do trade shows again. I think it's a trend.
I think so too. I think one of the positive things that happened out of COVID was the explosion of online education, which made it more accessible to people, and I think more open to, yeah, this is really good stuff, and we need to get more of it, including going to the trade shows. And again, I'm just going to pat Positive Ed on its back, because it was Positive Educational Training that had the first online
Trade show. You
online trade show
on that like nobody's business.
Like white on rice, Chris.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. As I dust my office as we're talking.
So, and it's just move forward quickly. So, I had most of what I teach at trade shows is considered like very niche. So, not expecting like huge numbers, but my cat classes, and there was a full day of cat classes. So there was like a lot to choose from. So on the Friday, Dana Chavez Ray and I were like sort of alternating classes, and all of them were full. I have never had a cat class where the room was full.
You know what? We need to get her on and have you two discuss alternate cat techniques and theories and whys and
in a mobile van.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dana was worried that some of our topics were going to overlap, and I'm like, yeah, but yes, that was true. However, Dana and I definitely have both different perspectives, and there are things I think is important, and there are things that Dana think is more important. So when you have an opportunity to take multiple classes from different instructors, I highly recommend doing it, because that is that whole perspective from somebody else. And what works for me may not work for Dana.
And that's the beauty of having the overlap and going to the different classes, is that you get different perspectives, because everyone works differently. Like what may work well for you and is important to you may not work well for someone else in how they groom and in how they work. And that's why you get all the ideas.
Yeah. And so where was I? And I gleaned a couple of tips from Dana. So thank you, Dana.
See?
Okay. But it was nice to see, and I heard that consistently from all the instructors at Groom Expo. Their classes were packed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people who are attending the show, give yourselves a pat on the back. All right. For making the time to be there and to continue your education. Because if how do I phrase this nicely, Chris?
Ooh, I don't I don't know because I don't know what's about to pop out of your mouth. So I'm tempted to say just go for it, but I'm like, I might have to edit some shit.
You may have to. I have an ear infection and I have like zero patience, and all my brain cells are not fully online. So here we go. Okay.
I'm
It is
scared.
really important to go to trade shows to learn the newest techniques that are going out there, because if there was never any continuing education, we'd all be grooming with that handheld clipper, the one that you have to
Oh my
squeeze.
God. Yeah.
Okay. And using Dawn and Ivory as your go-tos, because
But
that's what was available at the time.
okay. We're going to take our first commercial break, and then I'm going to use that to transition into something that happened today that will transition into our topic, which is professionalism within the industry and how it is expanding. So let's hit our first button. I love being a house call groomer, but I hate doing laundry or worrying about asking my clients for fresh towels. Raypet has solved those problems for me with the Wet Pet disposable towel, taking up much less space than traditional cotton towels and easy to wring out and reuse. These super soft, comfy, absorbent towels eliminate any cross contamination concerns between pets. And now their new, smaller washcloth size can even help those sensitive eye areas. Great for cleaning out wrinkles gently and thoroughly. Need to keep water bowls for your clients on hand that are easy to disinfect, but hate all the room traditional clanky metal bowls take up? Or just have a very active pet? Their collapsible silicone bowl comes with an aluminum D-ring hook that can be attached to your pet's leash or anywhere else in your van for easy storage. You can get one by itself or in their handy travel kit, along with a set of 3 tick removers and 1 small wet pet towel. So stop by their website to check it out, raypet.net, and tell them the Traveling Groomers sent you. All right. So something that happened today. Our newest kitten came in and he was a street cat. So what did he bring with him, Mary?
Oh, please.
He had fleas. So I immediately called Dana and Lynn and my cat friends. I'm like, what? And I got advice and we treated. But now it's been about a month. So what's back?
Please.
So now he's big enough for frontline. Like before, he was so tiny. I was like, I'm not putting frontline on this guy. He's an itty bitty. But until we can get that in the house, I think it's coming tomorrow. Cam is Googling all of this stuff and all of these things that what you can do for fleas. And he said at like 3 times, because he kept running across it, Dawn, like 3 or 4 times. Well, you could wash them with Dawn. And I'm just there not saying anything. And I'm just not saying anything. And he's like, well, you clearly don't like that idea because, and I said, because it's not a good idea. It is not good for their coat. I have a Chubb's bar somewhere. I have other things I can wash him with. That's not Dawn. I have things that are made for pets. It's not good for them. Well, I'm not talking about on a regular basis. And I'm not talking about ever. Like, am I going to say I've never used Dawn on pets? No, I'm not going to say that, because when you know better, you do better. But when it came time to do it for my pet, I was like, oh no, I can't. It's not that desperate. Like, it's not that desperate. If I was at an Airbnb and we rescued a kitten and there was nothing else and you had a gun to my head, would I probably do it? Maybe. But not when I have any kind of other options.
Yeah. Fleas are insidious. If
Oh,
you have them a month later, then there is now another set of eggs that are
oh
going to
yeah.
in another 30 days.
Uh-huh. So now, the problem was I picked up furniture spray and guess what we forgot to use?
Your furniture spray.
Our furniture spray. And it's insidious because I went through the kitten with the flea comb last night. And then I went through them again. And last night, I'm like, okay, I got like 2 off of him and nothing. I got like 5 off of him today. I'm like, where did these fuckers come from? Oh yeah, they hatched. Oh, I hate fleas. I hate them.
Yeah, and for everyone who is now scratching the back of their head,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
because we all now have phantom fleas. Thank you very much, Chris.
How do you think I feel with the kitten in my lap?
Okay. So,
Mm, mm.
anyway, yeah. I'm so grateful, knocking on wood. I've been here for 4 years. I've not seen a single flea on my pets. I do not use any kind of preventative
You
on.
know what? And I got to be grateful. This is the first time in years we've had an issue. And the last time we had a major issue, our cat number was in double digits. And we had quite a few dogs as well. So that was a shit ton of frontline Mary.
Yeah, I bet it was.
That was like a 3-month battle. Oh, it was hard.
So
Now I'm itchy again.
point, so the point I was making earlier is that you go to trade shows as you see the new equipment, you see the new products that are out there, you learn new techniques, you learn new science, okay? Things that you didn't know, or basically nobody really knew, say even 5 years ago. Okay. So if it's been like 10 years since you've attended a trade show, 10 years since you got any real conflict, I'm going to use the word conflicting information. The reason I'm just going to use the word conflicting information, because every time we learn something new, it is conflicting with what we already know. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
So when we get conflicting information, all right, then is the way I'm doing it correctly and the conflicting information is wrong? Or is that conflicting information the newest available information that is out there? And what I am currently doing is not the correct way.
And I'm gonna even correct something you said. You said 10 years. If you haven't been to a show in 10 years or taken classes, I'm gonna say 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm being nice, Chris.
Oh,
The point that I am trying to make is if you are hanging on to information from 10 years ago and you're not willing to take a look at whatever is out there is new, all right, maybe it's time to rethink your information. I don't know how to say it. People, I have got an ear infection.
okay. Basically, you've had 3 different sets of cognitive dissonance that you've just skipped over and missed. So count yourself lucky. You can have one massive case of, but I don't, brain explosion and kind of get it over with. And you'll be fine. Yeah, there's a lot that is changing. And I like that. I like that. I'm okay with that because
You
that
know,
just means our industry is growing and people are researching and trying to learn. And the whole, I'm trying to remember the first rule is, don't talk about. But the fact that we're even having fights about the science on shaving double coated breeds versus not shaving double coated breeds, and people are throwing conflicting science at each other. That just, that just gets kind of makes me tingly.
Yeah. Because
And I'm not even
obviously,
picking a side. I'm just saying the fact that both people are throwing out scientific articles is like fantabulous.
all right. So I was on the debate team in college. And one of the exercises our coach made us do is we had to take something that we were like, was against the grain for us. Okay. And we had to argue for it. And we had to do it seriously. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'm gonna tell you, all right. And this is, you know how many years it's been since I've been in college and was on the debate team?
I wasn't going to age you like that, Mary. 5 years, 10 years, 10
And
years out of
maybe,
college.
maybe 10 years, maybe 10 years.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, the point being there is that you could find supporting information for anything.
Yeah.
All right. The supporting now, when I say supporting, I don't necessarily mean factual. I mean supporting.
Oh my God.
There's
Oh
a
my
difference.
God. You know what? We have to take a commercial break, and then I will tell you a story in real life regarding that. Um, that I feel I can safely do because I love my mother, but she does not listen to the podcast. So I'm going to pretend I hit a button, but instead, Mary, I'm going to say, what if I told you you could have a year's worth of online education for less than the cost of one in-person trade show? That's right. For only $97 a month, you have access to a different 2-day educational conference with 10 hours of material taught by the best in the industry. Every month has a new theme that includes anything from grooming skills to business and everything in between. Can't catch it live or just want to rewatch it? Recordings are available for 6 weeks with closed captioning for both live and recordings with transcripts. What are you waiting for? Grab your membership today at positiveed.com.
And I'm thinking starting in January that I may make the recordings available for 8 weeks for members.
Ooh. Oh, so you can buy the summit individually and get your recordings for like 4 to 6 weeks, and then members get.
No.
Oh, wow.
If you have a membership, you could have access to the recordings for 8 weeks starting in January.
Mm-hmm.
If you just purchase an individual summit, then you'll have 3 weeks to watch the recordings.
Okay. I like it. So, regarding conflicting information, I was having a discussion with my mother regarding how my foot surgery went and her feet, because I'm going to blame her for flat feet because it can be hereditary. She's got a foot that is so flat, the bones have shifted. And I thought we had had discussions on how we were treating hers going forward. And I thought she understood, and we had these discussions. So we were talking about exercises to improve the arch of your foot. And I was going over the ones they taught me at physical therapy. And she's like, well, I do 100 of that every month or every day. I do 100 of those a day. And I said, okay, that's great. And that will help. But because your foot is so flat, your bones have now shifted. Now it's affecting your knee. So we can't, because you don't want to do surgery, because her surgery at this point would be more extreme than mine was. Because mine, since I tore the tendon that supported the arch, they fixed that and they did something to help support the arch, a couple things while they were there. But for her, it would be like breaking all of those bones, putting them back where they're supposed to be, and putting like a metal arch in her foot. So she's not going to do that at 75. She's not, because it would be very difficult for her to be completely off her foot for 6 weeks. so I said, so we're not doing that. So we're treating it with cortisone shots every now and then. You're doing your exercises. And now we have to go to a knee specialist to look at the knee pain. And she goes, so we're ignoring the root cause of the knee pain. I'm like, oh God, I thought we went through this. We're not ignoring it. We know what it is. You're choosing not to do the one thing that will fix it. And she starts going on about, because now she goes online and reads things, and she's reading all the health nuts, as she puts it. So she really thinks these exercises will somehow, the muscles will move her bones back into place. And I'm like, Ma, that's not going to happen. So there is a thing when you're reading research, this relates to grooming, I fucking swear. And now I forgot the term, but there is a thing when you're reading research where you can make it support what you think it's going, what you want it to say.
Yeah.
Do you know the term I'm talking of? There's a phrase, it left my brain.
You know what? You're asking me at the very wrong time.
Okay. But when you're researching and or listening to news, you can filter it through the outcome you want.
Yeah.
And make the research, make you think it says what you think it says, as opposed to what it may actually be saying.
It's why you could take a paragraph and two people read it, and it's like you're reading two different paragraphs.
Like talking politics with the relatives at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You saw the same news story, but you're coming at it from way different places. And that's as political as we're going on today's show. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But yes, just the fact that there is science out there is very exciting to me. That there's more education out there than there ever was.
Yeah.
When I first started grooming, there was none of this. And we had, was it the Groomers Lounge?
Yep.
There was two. There was the Groomers
Lounge and petgroomer.com.
Yep.
And you guys, let me tell you something. You think Pro Groomer Network can be cutthroat? Yeah, nothing on Pro Groomer on petgroomer.com, because the difference was on Pro Groomer Network, we got our real names. On Pet Groomer
Town Hall.
No, don't confuse my website.
No, sorry. Oh God, no.
Petgroomer.com. We had made up names.
Yeah, we got the nice screen names to hide behind.
Yeah.
Oh, it was vicious.
They got really vicious.
Very, very vicious.
So,
but anyway, that is just one of the things that is elevating our industry, is the education that is available today, whether it be the online or in trade shows. And the fact that we are reading scientific papers regarding skin and coat. Like, just think about it. 20 years ago, if you'd have said groomers are online reading scientific papers on how it affects a dog's skin and fighting about it, would you even believe me, or would you say I was full of shit?
Oh, I would say you were full of shit.
Yeah. Absolutely astonishing. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today, and has it been 10 minutes already? Did I talk that much about my mother's bad feet? Sorry, y'all. Probably. It was, my head wanted to explode, because I thought we'd gone past this. Like, I thought we got it. But what does professionalism mean to you, and what does it look like to you? So
Okay.
that's two of the things I want to talk about today. Ooh, we already did talk about education. Look at that. So I'm
Number
just going to take
three.
another commercial now. I'm just going to take the third one now because we can, because it's at a natural stopping place. And speaking of continuing education, because we either were or will be, join the Andis World Class Education Team each month for live interactive virtual classes. You'll learn new and trending styles, as well as tips and tricks from some of the best groomers in the industry. Whether you're looking for basic skills, trending styles, advanced techniques, or even just ways to spark your creativity, the new Andis Grooming Education site is your source for finding what you need to create your way for success. Try new techniques, learn from the pros, and grow your confidence today at andis.com/groomer education. Traveling Groomer Podcast listeners, hey, that's you, can get 25% off your first course today with the code BEGROOMING at checkout on andis.com/groomer education. All righty. So what does it look like to you, Mary? What does professionalism as a groomer look like to you?
Right. I think there's a lot that goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I always like to preface that professionalism doesn't mean you're a doormat. And it doesn't mean the customer is always right. Okay.
It means specifically you're not a doormat.
Yes. Okay. So I think part of it is appearance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by appearance is that you look like a professional, meaning you have a smock. There's no holes in your pants.
You're not wearing pajamas, y'all, please.
You're not wearing pajamas.
Sorry.
And we could have, I mean, a uniform can be anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, it can mean that in a shop, everyone dresses exactly the same, meaning they're wearing the same smock. They're not the same smock, but the same.
It's a little hard to groom with like four arms
Yeah, okay,
sticking
I've
out.
got,
I'm picturing it. Okay. Four
so
groomers
they're not
stuffed into
swapping
one
the
like
same smock, the
pet
same
size
style.
smock.
So, it might be embroidered with the name of the business on it.
The same style smock. And it can be in different colors, but the same style. Or slightly different styles and all the same color theme.
Yeah. Um, that you just look neat. Okay. So your hair is brushed. And I'm not saying because I'm the very last person to say, hey, you ought to wear makeup. No, because the answer to that question for me is no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if that's your thing, then that's fine. But you just have a uniform appearance, and so the customers they know what to expect. I mean, and to like really illustrate this point, I was in the movie theater and I'm standing behind this woman, and we're both looking at each other, and we finally point at each other, and I go, "Damn, Renee, you clean up good," because she was always the first appointment in the morning. She was there in her robe and jammies. All right. Whereas I was in my grooming attire. She goes, my work gear. And she's like, I didn't recognize you in normal clothes.
I was at now my client had a lot of leeway in this particular situation because it was his mother's funeral. And I had groomed this dog for years, and it was his mother's dog. And when she got more ill, the son started taking the dog, and he called me for a last minute appointment. And this was a huge collie, and like rough coated collie that I was like, would be like, no, but he's like, well, my mom's service is this afternoon, and I really wanted him fresh for the thing. And I was like, oh, I will make that happen. And I also went because I'd known her for years, and I wanted to be there. So I groomed and I changed in like a bathroom, and I got there and I had seen him like an hour prior, and they had boards up with pictures of her and different dogs, and I looked at it and I'm like, that's not Linus, right? That doesn't look like the dog. And he's looking, no, Linus is, and he starts telling me who this dog is, and I'm like, I'm it's Chris. I know who Linus is. I just didn't think that was a pit that didn't look like him. And he still took him a minute to recognize who I was, because like I was in a full dress, hair down, could not comprehend who I was, because it just, no, not the right setting, looked totally different. And also, to be fair, he had a lot on his mind that day. I miss her and Linus. They were awesome people. But
Okay, so also professionalism is setting the boundaries for your business with paperwork. It's your terms of service. It's any matting paperwork. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just that you have it, all right, and you stick to it, all right, so that uh, people coming in know what to expect from your business. Because if they don't know what to expect, they set they set their own rules. Think about this when you have multiple dogs in the house, okay? When you have multiple dogs in the house, if one of the other dogs doesn't assume responsibility, they all think they're in charge, right? If you as the pet owner don't set the rules as far as the pets are concerned, okay? They think they're in charge and they get to set the rules. And, maybe we see that sometimes between spouses in the same household.
yeah,
Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So knowing what to expect. All right. No, the clients know what to expect. All right. If you have a pickup and a drop off at specific times, if you should expect payment at times of service, but how do you expect that payment? Do you do cash? Do you do credit card? Do you do checks? What do you do if somebody is not compliant? Okay.
With your terms and services,
Your terms
and
and your
how do
services.
you
How do you
politely tell them that they need to pay?
Yeah. So there's that aspect of it. I think also with professionalism, it is how your facility presents itself. Okay. And it isn't, you don't have to be, and here's the thing, you don't have to be swanky.
I'm looking up, for those of you watching, I'm making a face because I never intended for my home office to receive clients. It was for me. It was for me and my dogs. But I'm laid up. I can't drive. My office, I also have a nice saddle wheelie chair. I can groom sitting down. I can do some light grooming here. I have no idea what this says to my clients right now, other than she's trying real hard, but I have professional equipment in it.
Okay, so it's professional equipment, it's professional products, and it's clean. All right. So, like I said, you don't have to have it, it doesn't have to be looking like it's coming out of an issue of Home and Garden or Architectural Digest, whatever.
Would be nice though.
But the point being is it's clean, you're using professional equipment and professional products. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. What No, I am not going to tangent about the floor. I am not going to do it. Not.
Floor, Chris.
What was that?
What floor?
Exactly. Exactly. The floor in my office.
Okay. What about it?
Okay, I am tangenting about it. So my initial idea was to put down those foam, those foam pieces you stick together,
Right.
the padding, and on top of that, carpet squares, because I wasn't going to, like, I know you're like, carpet in a grooming room. That's disgusting. Yes, but remember, it wasn't supposed to be a grooming room. It was supposed to be my office to the end of my desk, and then a space to groom my dogs. So not going to be that big a deal. And because it's carpet squares, if they got gross or too wet or peed on, I could toss it and put another square down. But not only did I not get it glued down properly, because I had plenty of time to do that. And then once I had plenty of time to do that, I couldn't exactly crawl around on the floor and do it because I hurt my ankle. But I'm now coming to the realization that if I'm going to be grooming out of here one day a week, carpet is no.
Yeah.
No.
Back when I was a first aid instructor, and I'm going around to the area shops saying, hey, I got a class, you ought to take it. I can remember going into this one shop, and first of all, the floor was carpet, and my feet are sticking as I'm walking into the grooming room. Okay.
Nothing sticks. Nothing sticks.
No, my feet were sticking.
No, to me, nothing sticking in my office. It's not to there.
Now, in the grooming area, there was linoleum or some such thing on the thing. And she had her kid playing in one of the dog crates, which you would think sounds, it was not a clean crate.
Well, now I have no problem with kids playing in dog crates.
I don't either.
You know what? On a busy day, why don't we just shut the door? How is it different from a playpen? Don't come at me.
Yeah.
Are playpens not still things? How is a playpen and an X pen different? But it's got to be clean.
It's got to be clean.
It's got to be clean.
Okay. I left out of there, and all I wanted to do was take a bath in Clorox.
Yeah.
And she very proudly had on the window that what her certifications were. So she considered continuing education important. You know what? That's the next thing we're going to talk about on as far as professionalism is concerned. Shall we take number 4?
Yeah, it is. I was just looking at that. It is time for number 4. As a house call groomer, the idea of van and generator maintenance had kept me out of one for years. But Hanvey Engineering and Design has been making mobile grooming vans for 20 years now and has thought of that. No generator to maintain, repair, and replace. No propane to fill or worry about running out in the middle of winter. Hanvey vans have the lowest operating costs out there. I know I'm sold, but check out their latest innovations for yourself at hanvey.com. Ta-da.
Okay. And another part of professionalism is continuing education. However it is you get it, is that just that you do it. And it can be anything from watching YouTubes, from listening to podcasts. And here, let's do a quick plug, because petprotalk.com is live. Yay. So if you're looking for a podcast, and you know what, there's a lot of industry podcasts. Okay.
Is Bark After Dark on there
yes.
too?
Oh my God. And I listened today to the Hellhounds episode.
I've heard I have to listen to the Hellhound episode.
Yeah, you do have to listen to that. I will pee
myself laughing.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
nice.
So anyway, where were we? get your education on. Okay. So there's podcasts, there's YouTube, there's books, there's Groomer to Groomer magazine. There is, of course, trade shows. There is online education. There are so many avenues for you to learn something.
Yes. Yes. So my next question is, and I think we started to answer this a little bit, is getting customers to recognize that we are legit professionals. And I think we touched on a lot of that. And that was, I've been hearing that as a complaint for years, that customers treat us certain ways. But I'm going to flip that and say some of that responsibility is ours in how we carry ourselves, how we present ourselves with, not showing up to work in pajamas, looking like we just rolled out of bed, which is now a challenge when I can literally just roll out of bed into my grooming room. Oh, love it a little bit, but have to take that extra minute to look put together. Yeah. Having our certificates up on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to admit, it's a little nice when I have customers come over and they normally don't see any of this on my wall, and my Barkley Honors nomination and the big evolution banner and all of my pet tech stuff and my certifications and the and I see them looking at it. And I definitely see them checking this wall out behind me. And I feel it helps make up for my floor.
Putting up your awards and your certificates.
Yes.
Let your clients know. Maybe a recap on social media of going to a trade show, of sitting in the classes, of getting your certificate from the class, of talking, whatever. I had a lot of people want to take a picture with me as the instructor so that they could post it on their social media.
Absolutely.
I have up on my office wall all of my lovely Barkley honors, the whole entire wall of them. Okay.
Yes, Miss Lucci.
Yes, Miss Lucci. Just refer to me as Miss Lucci. But anyway, I had somebody come in because they wanted me to do something with the local CERT team, community emergency response team, as far as planning with pets. And they walked in and, it's like, I don't have to say, do you know who I am? No, I don't. You just walk in and you take a look at the office wall and they're like, holy cow, how many awards have you gotten? Oh yeah. So it puts that, it really does up the estimation that somebody has of you when you go to the things and you get their certificates and you hang them up on the wall and you let your clients know, however it is you let them know. Do you have a newsletter? Do you have a Facebook page? Are you on Instagram? It doesn't matter. Just let them know.
And also it's how we talk to our clients when we see something, when we see a skin issue, and we can talk to them without diagnosing. You know what I mean? We're not playing vets, but we're still speaking vet talk. And we're telling them what to tell the vets and what they noticed and how and saying this, I would take it to the vet. It could be a sebaceous cyst. It could be nothing. And just saying the word sebaceous cyst, it sounds, it's stupid. Please pardon the stupidity that's about to come out of my mouth. It sounds science-y. So our clients will go, ooh, that sounds science-y. That's a big word. Maybe she knows stuff.
When you start getting into 4 syllables.
Yeah. You throw around a 4-syllable word, they start to be slightly impressed. That's all I'm going to say.
And it's not that I counted the syllables on my finger or anything like that.
Yeah, especially since sebaceous is only 3 syllables, Mary.
Cyst, sebaceous cyst, 4
It's
syllables.
2 different words.
Yeah, it's a term, 4-syllable term. How's that?
I'm going to disagree, but I am not going to fight you on this.
Okay.
We're going to take our next commercial break. And we're going to do our self-care wrap up, and we're going to talk about what I will fight Mary on. And that, Mary, there's actually a scratch on my finger from
All right, I'm
when
just
Mary.
gonna say this, just before you said, if I'm ever hanging off a side of a cliff, I want you to grab my wrist.
Because I got a grip, and letting go is not an option. I legit thought I was gonna fall. All right, no, we'll go into this before the commercial. So it is what night? Sunday night? Was it?
I think it was Sunday night.
It was Sunday night, and Mary showed me something on her phone, and she had Facebook open. So she hands me her phone so I could look at this thing, and then proceeds to stop paying attention to me while
I trusted her. Where does trust go? But go ahead, Chris. It's all you. Tell them how you betrayed me. Go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't betray you, because you know me, and while I don't consider that I have a trickster totem, I have a cat named Loki.
Okay,
I love spider stories and Anansi stories. So if I didn't try something, would a part of you be disappointed? Would anyone who's ever met me be slightly disappointed if I had Mary to access to Mary's Facebook and I didn't attempt to post something as innocuous? And by the way,
you are blaming the victim.
Yes. All I posted was that you said I was awesome. So basically, you're saying that I'm not awesome.
Oh, no.
No. By fighting with me on this, you're saying I am not
I had
awesome
no
anyway.
idea what you were posting because I couldn't see.
Yes, because you had no trust. Despite what you actually said, you clearly had no faith in me that I wouldn't post something terrible. All I posted was that Chris Barry Anthony is really awesome. So she sees that I'm posting something, and she's sitting right next to me. Now, remember, my leg is in a cast. I can put no weight on my right foot. To the right of me is my knee scooter. Yes, it's Sunday. It was Sunday night. My knee scooter, not the other scooter. I turned in the wheelie one. And she tackles me.
I did not tackle her.
I have a table full of witnesses
over to grab my phone.
Yeah. Then if you just reached over to grab your phone, why were you lying on top of me?
Because you kept moving it further from my reach.
Because I didn't want you to grab it, clearly.
And the only thing you had to do was let go of my phone.
Oh, that was never an option.
Which is why
defeat is not an option.
Chris's grip is phenomenal.
My husband's very happy. Anyway, so I am like now turned like sideways like this, leaning forward, reaching out, trying to desperately hit post. Angie got tagged in it somehow because just random things were getting hit. She's now, because I'm reaching, she's going further. She's the table, like the table wobbles. She came this close to flipping the table, y'all.
No, I came close to flipping the table when I was getting up.
Oh, okay. But you were like, I thought I was going to fall. I was like braced on the scooter. I'm like, I'm going to fall. And her answer is, well, then let go of the phone, which, clearly wasn't happening until I hit post. Just saying.
Okay. All right. So we missed the commercial. So let's hit that and then go into self-care, I guess, right?
Yes, we will hit that last commercial break. And I'm actually going to make it a live commercial break because nope, I'm putting that down because I am never far from a pair of Evolution shears because I do my educating and a lot of teaching from the desk. So I always have a pair of shears here to demonstrate how ergonomically correct they are and how they fit. And I would like to say, since Evolution Shears was also nominated for Vendor of the Year, I would like to say on behalf of all of them, if I may, it was a real honor to be nominated. It was an honor that it meant a lot to them to be nominated, to be up there, because they work so hard. They go to just about every dang trade show because this is a product that you have to get in your hand, that you have to try and test out and give it a shot. And even if you hate swivels, give it a whirl. What the hell? You're at a trade show, go for it. It's a product you have to get in your hand and try. So they work so hard to get to every show. And it just meant a whole lot to them to be nominated. They were honored to be in that company. And we were honored because I was working the booth all weekend to hear everybody come up and go, "Ooh, I hear I have to try Evolution shears. I hear I have to give these a try." Everybody's saying I need to try these if I want to try swivel shears. So I just wanted to let you know that your nomination meant a great deal to them. And once again, I hope both of us bring home the actual medal last year, but just being nominated meant everything because they're there for you. That was it. That was my commercial, my soapbox, because I really do love those guys.
Okay.
So, self-care wrap up. Do your gripping exercises, because self-care is being able to hit post when you have somebody else's phone, to me. What have you done for self-care this week?
Slept.
You know what? Honestly, same. It was taking today off. I was supposed to groom my dog today, but yesterday I went to the doctor's office and I really expected to get the cast off and him to put a boot on. And he took the cast off and he took the stitches out. And then he went, "Okay, great. We're going to put another cast on for 2 more weeks." And I went, "What? But this cast won't even have any penises drawn on it. I'm not seeing all my mature friends for another few weeks. What do you?" I mean, yes, there were a few. There were at least 2, along with some flowers and some paw prints and crossed swords and, one for a good time call. That was good. But now I'm going to go back with like a boring ass cast in 2 weeks. I can't draw penises on it myself. That's no fun.
Did you take pictures at least?
Yeah, I took some pictures.
Okay.
I took some pictures. It's good. There was one small one that was, hairy and happy. And there was one that was like, there was a big open spot on Monday. And there was one that was like almost a foot long and quite veiny with a smiley face and a Jimmy hat popping off. It was great. It was great, Mary. So that's what I did for self-care. I laughed at my obscene cast. And I slept today and I took the day off and
Which
played
Chris
video
kept
games.
covered at the trade show because it was totally inappropriate.
I did. I have cast covers. I bought cast covers specifically for the trade show so that my toes wouldn't be hanging out because my pedicure is not even there anymore. And that way people could be as inappropriate as they wanted, and it would be fantastic. My poor husband, he finally saw that and he's like, "Oh my God. Oh my God." I can't. Oh my God. It was great. It was great.
Okay.
That was my self-care. It worked. It made me happy.
Okay. So that's all that's important.
Yep. So we are right about at an hour, Mary.
Mm-hmm. Good timing.
Good timing this time. And yeah, we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, with more captivating discussions and possibly a special guest.
Ooh.
I don't know yet. We'll see. It's coming. What'll happen? All right. All right. Take care, guys. And I can't wait to see y'all at the next trade show. Well, that was fun. But now it's time to head home. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed chatting with you. If there are any topics you'd like us to discuss or guests you want to see join us on this crazy road trip of ours, let us know in the Traveling Groomers Facebook page. Don't forget to thank our sponsors. And see you next week, guys. Safe travels.